Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Freedom Network channel. I am your host, Renelle. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh my gosh, you guys, come on in because today's topic. Well, actually, this is not the video for today's topic, but this is basically, we'll call it the intro. So this is the intro to today's topic. And the reason why I needed to do an intro because, after listening to the video, I just don't want nobody to be in their feelings, feeling no certain type of way because again, the main goal for all of this is to fix the family, right? So let's stay focused and just know anything that I'm coming with, anything that I'm saying, you guys, honestly, it's coming from the heart. It's not intended to poke or to pry anyone, or it's not, any for anyone specific, not geared to any one family. It's a topic that needs to be discussed. And it needs to be discussed because while we're talking about the family, rebuilding the structure of today's family, making it stronger than ever, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this topic today. So today's topic, again, it's so important because these two individuals, they run the family. They hold the family together. So when they're not good, the family's not good. And that's why we got to talk about it, because there are innocent people that's affected. Okay? So without any further ado, getting into, whatever, let's just talk about it. Come on in, whatever, come on in, have a seat, let's sit down and let's talk about it. The relationship that we're going to talk about today, the family members, is the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. And I prefer to say mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, but you know what we're talking about. So I want to come on here and talk about this relationship between these two powerful women, because one thing we know is the enemy, the devil, whoever you call him, he is the one that's always trying to put enmity between the two roles. And I thought about that and I said, why is it that those two roles are the hardest to get along? And then it made sense. Why? Because if the devil can keep those two feuding, he can win the son, which is whom he wants anyway. He wants to attack that male because he knows, that's the family. He's the foundation. So if he can attack him, have him all messed up, stressed out, and in his feelings, then he's not worried about nothing. And he knows that if he can keep the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law feuding with each other, then the family's going to be separated. So the reason why we got to talk about this, you guys, and we got to deal with it, because there are members of the family that suffers a great deal from this separation, the quarreling back and forth, the estrangement, the son, the husband, and then the children. They suffer a great deal because, again, when the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law is not getting along, it affects the children. It affects them any type of way you can imagine, emotionally, physically. They're not able to go and get those hugs, and they're not able to express their feelings about their grandparents. So just know the damage that it does. I know us as women, we're very emotional and we're very strong-willed, and we'll stick to our guns and say, I'm good. Hey, it is what it is, and I'm good, and I don't care. But let's just think about the others that it's affecting. Think about mothers. Think about your son. Think about your son, because your son loves you both dearly. Think about him. Think about your grandchildren. Grandchildren need their grandparents. Let's think about them. Wife, think about your husband. If you really love your husband, you would see the hurt in his eyes when he don't have a healthy relationship with his parents. Think about your children. Is it your right to take that history from them? One day they're going to grow up and they're going to question you about that. You better be ready to answer those questions, because they're not going to understand how you just made it about you. I'm just saying. So again, we got to talk about it. And I get it, because if I live long enough, I'll get a chance to witness both roles. And most women do. You get a chance to be a daughter-in-law, and then you get a chance to be a mother-in-law. So we got to get it right so that we'll know how to go in and out of these roles. Because again, nobody gets a blueprint, instructions on how to become the best, whatever your role is, best daughter-in-law, best mother-in-law. So again, we want to get this taken care of. Honestly, you know what we should start doing, or they should have did a long time ago. And I'm gonna tell you why. When a couple gets married, you have your parents there. Don't mess around and have it where it has to be added into the vows. Wife, you up there finna prepare to be married to your husband. Don't let it be said, that you have to, part of your vows be, I agree to honor and respect my husband's parents. Maybe that's how we should have had it a long time ago. Because guess what? And the only reason I say this, you guys, and also have a little part for the parents. We agree to honor, respect, and welcome our future daughter-in-law. And the only reason I say this is because I've had conversations before with men, with a man, and I'll never forget on a job, talking with a man, and I think it was like holidays or a birthday or something coming up. And the guy, he was so frustrated, you guys, because his mother-in-law and his wife, they just could not see eye to eye for nothing. They never have really. They started out a little, but then he said they just never ever could see eye to eye. And, he was just talking about the effect that it had on the children. He had children in college that, didn't want to come home on holidays because, they wanted to be with their grandparents and they weren't able to. And, and I can remember him saying he would rather, just think about this, ladies, please set your feelings aside. He said he would rather work the whole holiday weekend. He was asking if there was an opportunity for him to work. And this is how we got to talking about it. Because I'm like, why would you want to be working? The kids is coming home from college. Don't you want to be with your family? And you know what he said? He said, honestly, I would rather work. He said, because holidays, was always fun growing up with my family and, my parents. He said, then I got married. He said, we experienced that a little, but then all of a sudden it just completely stopped. And he said nothing else made him and his siblings more happier than to see all of the family together, going on vacations. They went on trips, everything. Coming together in love for them and their children. And so when that stopped, he said, really, he got tired of picking sides. He said, I was just at the point where a holiday come, I would rather be working. Just think about that. He would rather be working than spending time at home. Well, for one, because he has to pick and choose, how he's going to spend his time. The children, he said the children had already said they weren't going to come home from college because they were going to go to some friends' family house. Think about that. Why would your children want to go to somebody else's house for the holidays? Only if the holidays at your home isn't healthy. So again, you may not get a chance to see the effects that this have on the other family during your lifetime. But just know it's gonna take an effect on them, whether you're here or you're gone. So women, we just have to put our differences aside. And and I really thought about it because I'm like, what could be so bad that mother-in-law and daughter-in-laws don't get along? And it's not nothing bad 9 times out of 10. What it is that you both love this man so much, and you don't realize it, but oftentimes you compete for his attention. You put him in a bad situation because he's having to choose. A man should never be put in a position to have to choose or make a choice over his wife or his mother. Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him. He don't deserve that. Because guess what? The two loves are so different. They're so different. And he's able to love each one of you guys from a different capacity. His relationship, wives, your husband's relationship with his mother, that's something created long before birth. That's sacred. You don't touch that. You don't try and come against that. God would not have that. That's sacred. I know what it says, you cleave, but God didn't say you cut your mother off or your parents off. That's sacred. Don't touch it. Don't touch that. And then mothers, this relationship that your son, whom you've instilled all these wonderful values in, your son now has taken a wife, and that love is equally special. That love is intimate. Don't you mess with that. There's intimacy there. So you see, the two, they're so different. You have sacred and you have intimacy. He's able to love you both. You don't have to fight and argue. He gets enjoyment seeing you two bring the two together. And I'm telling you, most of the times, men won't say anything because they don't like the confrontation. They don't like the arguments. But just know, it bothers him. And mothers, he's used to, your son is used to you always being the fixer in the family. From the time he was a baby, it's mother that always fixed things. If him and his siblings were arguing, mother, fix it. You would fix it. So he's used to you fixing things in the overall family, keeping everybody together. He's used to you being that glue. Don't let him down. Wives, he's used to you being the fixer in the home with your children, making sure that the siblings get along. You fix things within your immediate home. Allow his mother to make sure that everything is fixed within the entire family. Because keep in mind, you made a vow. You entered into that family. You entered into that family. So, there's some give and takes. If you really love your husband, you would fix that. Meet your mother-in-law halfway. And it's not one got to go a lot further than the other. It's halfway. Just meet each other halfway. And he'll be standing there in the middle. I say that all the time. Hug it out. Make it work. Because I'm going to tell you, stress is the #1 way that people are leaving this world. They're having heart attacks and strokes. Now, if both of you love the man, the son and the husband like you say you do, protect his heart. Protect his heart. Protect his mind. Don't let him have a heart attack and a stroke over some stuff that y'all couldn't get right. Don't do that to him. He loves you both. And God is love, so he's able to love you both equally. It's not the same. It's not the same. You don't need to compete for it. Wives, you'll see a change in your husband. I'm telling you, you'll see a change in your husband. Again, just me having conversations with people and hearing both sides, you know. I know, I've heard, if my wife and my mother-in-law could get along, my marriage would be so much better. You know, if I knew that my wife would come into the family and not be able to get along with my family, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't even marry her. Can you imagine? I know you don't know. You don't know that these things are being said. Wife, my mother, you know, sometimes I just wish that I would have took my family and moved as far away as I could from my parents. I know you don't know. Those feelings are real. And they don't have to be your reality. They don't. Because you know what? We got to learn to put our pride and our feelings aside for our loved ones. For our loved ones. And I'm sorry, man, I'm speaking up for y'all. I'm representing for y'all. Because y'all don't deserve that. All y'all want to see is the family straight. And the two women that you love the most, quarreling, that's not good for you. That's not good for your spirit. That's not good for your daughters that's coming up. Because they're your daughter's first teachers. Come on, mom. Come on, wife. You gotta represent. What do you want to be known by? You don't want to be known that you were that force that just came in and just wrecked shop. You want to be known by peace. My mother was peace. My wife was peace. My life is peace. That's what you want to be known for. Again, if you love your son and you love your husband, there won't be nothing you won't do to keep him happy. Just telling you, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. But somebody got to say it, y'all. We just can't just say this is it. This is the norm. This is what it is. We have a say. We have a say in the life that we live, the life that's created for us. We got to say. Things not right, fix it. When things are not looking favorable, that's okay. You can fix it. That's how much power you got. Let's see what you do with it. Mother-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, I'm rooting for y'all. Because y'all can do this. It starts with y'all. The family is what you make it. Use your power wisely. God bless. And one more thing, you guys, that I almost forgot that's very, very important. I challenge both of you, daughter-in-law and mother-in-law, get with somebody that has figured this thing out. If all your friends are having problems with their mother-in-laws or their daughter-in-laws, it's time to get some new friends. Get with somebody that has figured this thing out, that genuinely love, appreciates, and accepts their mother-in-law and their daughter-in-law. And you get under them for a season and allow them to show you and tell you how to fix this thing if you don't know. See how they do it, how they make it work. It's obtainable if you really want it.